I'm Amy and I'm the owner of the Mooeys Group. Now, if you've made it here to our website or YouTube channel or social media, then you are probably interested in a Mooeys franchise or interested in franchising and just making up your mind about what sort of franchise you're looking for. And yeah, something's brought you here, and I'm sure you have a million questions buzzing around in your head. So most of the time, I would get franchisees or potential franchisees call me up, and they would have loads of questions. They'd have a whole list of questions they have to ask me first. So I thought, what better way to start helping you out was to do a presentation and hopefully answer a lot of those questions for you. And then the next stage after this would be that we would meet in person. But by the time you've watched this presentation, you'll understand me a little bit more, you'll understand the brand, you'll understand our values, and you'll kind of see where we're going, and you will know whether this is the right franchise for you. There's so many out there, there's so many different franchise opportunities available. There's not that many in the beauty space. So we've got laser clinics, we've got aesthetics clinics, there's a lot of gyms, there's a lot of cafes, there's lots of restaurants and things like that. But when it comes to beauty treatments, there's not that many. There's one in the massage space, which is massive premises, big investment, great turnover. And then you've got another skincare brand, and again, that's a full fit out model. And it's just very different to, us. We are very different. We are very, very unique. So I wanted to go through it a little bit with you and hopefully answer all those questions that you have. So let's get cracking. Now, we're going to go through introduction. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the salons and what we've got. And then we're going to go through what franchising actually is, why you should choose Mooeys because we're the best, but also what makes a good franchisee. I think this is really important because it's really common that people say, oh, I haven't got the beauty experience, or I haven't got management experience, or I don't understand finance, all these things. But I'm going to go through what makes a good franchisee, and then you can decide if that is you. Location. This is really, really important to understand your location. And the location is what will make or break the Mooeys franchise. And I would never let you choose a location that, one, I haven't done tons of research on, and two, that I think it wouldn't work. Because I want you to be as successful. For me and my brand, I don't want a franchise that's not successful, but also for you, if you're making this investment, I want to make sure, it's my duty to make sure it's going to succeed. Cost, you need to know how much it's going to cost you and what the investment is, the whole process, the support, and any FAQs too. So let's get cracking. Like I said, promise you, it's not going to be death by PowerPoint, but by the time we've got through this, you will have a really good understanding of me, my brand, the concept, and know whether it's right for you. So Farnham was my first salon. So Farnham and Horsham are my salons. They fall under the Mooeys Group. I opened Farnham 10 years ago now. I ran it, I operated it, I sat there and waited for clients to come in the door. My heart and soul was in that salon. It's a very, very small salon. Now, I'm not from Farnham. I was managing the spa in Aquasana in Longley, the Centre Park Spa. Huge, huge operation. But I knew that I wanted my own salon. I knew that I wanted my own brand. I knew that I wanted my own chain. But also I needed to mess around with other people's money in the meantime. So I needed to figure out everything I needed to know. So I needed to know budgeting and finance and massive team operations. So Centre Parks was really good for that. And every job I've had in the industry is to learn to set me up for my own business. So by the time I set up Farnham, I had got experience doing openings of new spas, salon management, spa management, expertise in nails and waxing, training, you name it. I'd done everything I needed to do to be successful with my own setup. So Farnham was it. And I drove all over Surrey. I kind of knew Surrey was central to me and my boyfriend then, who's now my husband. Surrey was central. And I drove to every single town in Surrey, had a look round to decide which one was the right town for Mooeys. I knew what I wanted. I knew who my client was. I knew kind of the demographic that I was looking for. I wanted that commuter belt to a city, to London, but I wanted that commuter belt. I wanted the people that had worked in the city and wanted somewhere a bit fun and funky or a bit different to go to because they're used to places in London. I wanted the people that had worked in London and then moved to the suburbs to have their families. I knew my audience. And as soon as I got to Farnham, I literally drove down Castle Street and was like, this is it. This is my place. This is where I need to set up this salon. So we both moved to Farnham to set this business up. So I went there with no connections, no anything. And I needed to make sure it could work, setting up in a town that I had no connections to. So then after we'd been trading for 2 years, I knew that I needed to, it was so successful. It still is super successful. And I needed to know if it was just a fluke, or if I had hit the nail on the head, or if I'd really figured out, I'd got my perfect audience in the perfect place. And I needed to know if it could be replicated. So I opened Horsham, I think it was 3 years later, not quite 3 years, but I opened Horsham. And Horsham is a much bigger premises. The town is much bigger than Farnham. The demographics slightly different. And I needed to see if that could be replicated in a town, again, that I have no connection with, but also where I'm not running it. Because obviously I'd set up Farnham, so I needed to know if Horsham could be managed and replicated. And Horsham is a very different type of salon to run. We are predominantly nails in Horsham because the team are excellent at nails. So the biggest problems we've had is to make sure that we're driving enough profit within nails. And it's a much bigger premises. However, the running costs are very similar to Farnham. So we introduced laser very recently, and that has really boosted the revenue in Horsham. And the team are bigger. Yeah, so it's a very different salon to operate. So I've got experience in a very small and a much bigger salon, and both are very different. Both are very successful, and yeah, they're my babies. So then the first franchise was Hazelmere. So that's Emma, who was a nurse within the NHS. And we found that nursing skills are really easy to transfer to the beauty industry. It's that whole bedside manner, that kind of care, compassion, kindness, love for other people, and making sure people are okay and feel good about themselves and stuff. It all kind of aligns. Emma was a client of ours in Farnham for a long time, and she was the first person to set up her salon in Hazelmere. And then not long after, we had Godalming, and Gigi, that owns Godalming, actually worked for me in my Farnham salon. So she set up Godalming, and then shortly after that, Vanessa opened Petersfield. And Vanessa has got a property background, so property management, property development, fit outs of houses. She's very organised, very structured. So those skills were also very transferable to managing a team. She's got great people skills, but also PR and management. So Emma's got that nursing background. Gigi is a beauty therapist, knows the brand inside and out, but has never managed. And then we've got Vanessa, who's managed but hasn't got the beauty. So, everyone's very different. And Petersfield, opened soon after Godalming, and Vanessa was a client of ours for years in Farnham and was adamant she wanted a franchise. And then we've got the lovely Kriya, who opened Newbury. Now, Kriya is a nurse background as well. She has her own care company with her husband, and they have decided to both have a franchise each as well for future proofing and to bring in another income. So she kind of runs her care business from one of the treatment rooms in Newbury. Kriya didn't know the brand, didn't know us. She found us on Google, and then came and met me at one of the salons and decided that this was definitely the franchise for her. So that's where we're at with the current brands or the current salons. Now, so what is franchising? Franchise is basically a business in a box for a budding entrepreneur. Franchising gives people the opportunity to run their own business, but also have their hand held in the process. So it's a really good way of getting into business when you don't have the experience or the knowledge yourself. And you get given everything that works because a franchise is a successful operation. It's a proven concept. It's succeeded, otherwise we wouldn't be franchising. And I'm basically giving you all of my expertise, all of my experience, all of my knowledge, and continued support after that. So you are going to be a lot more likely to be successful than setting up and going on your own. But also you've got to remember, I've been running my salon for 10 years, so I can help you through all of that and also prevent you from making the same mistakes that I've done, protect you from making some of the mistakes, and I'm happy to share them with you when we get to that point. But also all of the expertise I have in the beauty industry and my team, we can all come together and make sure that you're successful from the offset, which is really important. Also, when it comes to franchising, it gives you the opportunity to be your own boss, and run your own business with a proven model or concept. Gives you access to all of the resources you need to enable you to be a successful business owner. So this means that you don't need to be a financial expert, you don't need to be a marketing expert, and you don't need to be a beauty therapist. We can give you all of the resources that you would need to be successful. And then you're also going to be a successful business owner in an industry that you have no or little experience in. So that shouldn't worry you. Please don't let the lack of experience, because that is the most common question I get, that people don't know the beauty industry, so they're not sure about it. Or they're not sure they're right because they don't know the industry. But, you don't need to worry about that. That's the whole beauty of franchising. And it also gives you the support of experienced professionals. So everything I've learned over the years, everything I've learned in the beauty industry, managing high-end spas to high street salons, to working on cruise ships, to managing operations, to recruitment, you name it, I've done it within various different sectors of the beauty industry. And I want to help you become as successful as you can be. So imagine how you would feel if you were running your own business, but with the support of industry experts to help you along the way. So you can run a business on your own, as you see fit, but with someone in there, in your ear, on WhatsApp, on email, by the phone, in person, however you prefer, just letting you know how you can tweak something here or do something better here, or have you thought about this? That's what franchising is. Now, why should you choose us? Apart from the fact we are so brilliant and our branding is on point. It's not for everybody, though. Same as everything, isn't it? Not everybody's going to love everything. But if our branding excites you and you can see the fun and the humour and the values, like, we really, really, really care. We give a damn about our clients, our team, our franchise partners. We really care. And I hope that you've felt that in anything you've looked at so far. But we have an excellent reputation. We know our client. We know who is attracted to Mooeys and who chooses Mooeys over any other salon. Now, obviously, there's loads of beauty salons to choose from, but you tend to have your non-standard salons. So I wouldn't say budget salons, because they're not actually budget anymore. Not a lot of them are a similar price to us. But, you go in, you don't need to make an appointment. Everyone's wearing masks. Everyone's using drills like e-files, but not like e-files that we have. They are like drills. And it's all acrylic. It's all very damaging. They don't really care. They don't speak to you normally. It's not every salon is like this, but that salon, those salons, the ones I'm talking about. We call them non-standard salons because a lot of the time they're not standardized, which scares me, and I'm not going to get on a rant about all of that. However, you have those salons, and then you have sort of your spas and the salons that call themselves high-end, or they call themselves spas, which always bugs me a little bit. They're on high streets, but they say they're a spa, but there's no water. Like, I've managed spas for years. I still don't understand how people can call themselves a spa, but there's no water, not even a hot tub. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, those salons, they'll be like high-end, they'll attract a certain clientele. That's not our clientele, and I have no problem with knowing who our people are. And the clients, we are middle of the road. We are top end price in the middle. We are not as high as these expensive spa salons, but we're not as cheap as the budget salons or the non-standard salons. We are right in the middle, and we attract a certain person. And those people are epic. They are our people. They love the branding. They love that it's fun. They love it's tongue in cheek. They love that it's home from home. They want excellent service. They care about being valued as a client. They care about loyalty. They're not interested in discounts. We don't discount anything, just so you know. We attract a certain clientele. So much so, we've had 1,700, it'll be more by the time you've watched this, but 1,700 5-star reviews on Google across our 6 salons. That's mammoth, isn't it? And our salons, we've got one salon that's sat at a 4.9, which really hurts my soul because we had a couple of sort of months where we were having a bit of a turbulent time, should I say, and we had a few bad reviews. But I mean, that's 3 bad reviews in 500, I think it was. So we've got a 4.9 and we're working on growing that, but all of the other salons are a 5. So, you know, we are attracting the right person that wants a certain service. It's there, but it's knowing who those people are and where they're living. And that's where we come on to in a minute with location. Operating your own successful salon for 10 years, operating our own successful salon for 10 years. I think this is really important. When you're looking for a franchise, you need to know that somebody's already done it. My salons were the pilots. I have been there. My blood, sweat and tears are in my own salons, and it means that I can help you run yours with the operational experience of running my own. And I've got 25 years experience within the beauty sector. So I know, like I said, every part of the beauty industry, the good, the bad and the ugly. And also I work with like Habia at the minute. So I'm working with Habia, which is like the governing body of the beauty world. And we're writing the waxing code of practice to try and improve the standards of waxing within the industry. There's a lot of things that I really care about. I care about business and helping people do well in business in the beauty industry. I love franchising so much. I care about quality products but minimal ranges, and I really care about great training, because the beauty industry training can be really hit and miss, and also it's very dated. It was all written in the 80s, so I'm working with a team of experts to rewrite that, just so you get an idea of who we are and what you're going to be partnering up with. So our USP is Mooeys professional training for sure. I wrote all of this training with a midwife as well, so we do pregnancy waxing training that a midwife worked with me to write. I worked with a teacher to make sure that it was all completely inclusive for all learning styles. And the Mooeys professional training is available for all of our team and franchise partners teams as well. So we have online training, we have in-person training, and it's really epic. It is the best training in the beauty industry when it comes to waxing. Our ethical and environmental standards. I think this has to align with your values and you know what you're looking for. But we specialise in the happiness and health of clients whilst doing our best for the planet. We talk about product range. I've got the Mousse Skin product range there, you can see in the bottom picture. This was a range that was created by therapists, me, for therapists, but with business owners and clients in mind. This is a retail range, but it's also a professional range that you use for waxing and nails. I wanted a range that could be reducing your need for lots of products, which is great for business but also great for clients. Increase your margin by reducing the cost of having loads of products sat around, and also refillable. So all of the packaging is aluminium, everything can be refilled. So that excites me because I really, really care about the environment, but also making sure the beauty industry, like our little section of the beauty industry, does our bit to save packaging and save waste and save all these things, because the beauty industry does produce a hell of a lot of waste, as you can imagine. So we're kind of just trying to change the way we think a little bit, you know. I mean, I've worked with different companies over the years, and we've had to have like 150 line range, like 150 SKUs, but you could have 5 different sizes of one product in those lines as well, and it was just mammoth. And I've kind of broken it down, like what do we actually need when it comes to waxing and nails? What products do we really need? Do we really need a moisturiser and 5 different fragrances? Because then that's just 5 lots of products. Do we need to get suckered into buying all of that? What do our clients want? So I created my own product range with our own signature blend of essential oils and no rubbish, and it is beautiful. So yeah, you get the products as a franchisee. You also partner with us for products, and you get it at pretty much cost price, because I want us all to be using the best products in the industry. Now, what options are there? So we have salon conversion, that is option 1. Salon conversion is for beauty therapists or beauty salon owners that have a business and know that it can do more, but they don't know how to get it there, or they have a great salon, great team, and not necessarily the management or the business experience. It could be that they want a fresh start. It could be that they've bought a salon and they want to rebrand. So instead of just creating their own brand, because it's really hard coming up with a brand, isn't it? It's really tough coming up with all of the brand ideas, and it's also really expensive. So the salon conversion, if someone's looking to have their own business or they've got their own salon and they want a refresh, they could just convert to a Mooeys salon. then they get access to all of our training. Obviously, me, support, all of that you would get as a franchise, but their existing salon. Then we've got the new salon franchise. So that is our most popular, and that's where you are setting up a whole new salon from scratch. It's exciting, it's stressful, it's hard work, but it's so rewarding, it's so great. And then we've got a master franchise, and this is available for people that want to buy a territory. So if somebody wanted to buy, I don't know, say Liverpool up, just as an example, they could offer to buy a territory, as in like a whole area, or Australia or New Zealand or something like that. And then you can run as many franchises within that. So you basically become me in that territory. So you would then sell as many franchises as you wanted in that area. You would then do all the training. You would then do, all of it, everything that I do, but you would have access to all of our systems and processes and products, etc. So there are 3 options. Now, what makes a good franchisee? Do you have any of these skills? Marketing, people management, budgeting, finance, PR background, customer service, positive outlook, personable, can-do attitude, friendly, team player. Now, you only actually need one of those, and I am positive that you have one of those attributes. It doesn't matter if you've been in the beauty industry. It doesn't matter if you've got marketing background. It doesn't matter if you have got finance background, because I will support you with marketing. I will support you with HR. So, if you don't know anything about that, but we also partner with a company for HR support. So we get our own HR department as such. But what I care about is whether you have a positive outlook, whether you're good with people, whether you're personable. Can people talk to you? Can people engage with you? Do you find building relationships easy? Do you have a can-do attitude? Are you friendly? Are you a team player? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to partner with people that give a damn. People that want a successful business but are kind. And we're in the beauty industry. We have, one of our core values is that we're non-judgmental. So I need to make sure that the people that buy into a Mooeys franchise give a damn about people and that can deliver that non-judgmental, caring, kind space that every Mooeys salon currently provides. So it doesn't really matter what experience you come with. It doesn't matter whether you're beauty or marketing, or whether you've been a manager before, or whether you've got a financial background, because we can teach you all of that, but I can't teach you the attitude that you come with. So that's the most important thing, really. Now, location. This is so important. Now, I've put here just an example of the Farnham and Horsham population and demographic, because I think you need to see this, but also I would do this research for you. If you come to me and said, I want Hitchin in Hertfordshire, for instance, I've actually got that already mapped out, but I would then work out the population, the town size and the city commute and the demographic. I will get all of that information for you. So if you are based in Welwyn Garden City, I'm just saying, if you were based in Welwyn Garden City, we would look at Hitchin, we would look at Stevenage, we would look at Welwyn Garden City, we would look at St Albans, we'd look at all these areas around you that's within a commutable distance, if you were going to be working in the salon, that is. All of these salons that are commutable, all these locations that are commutable distance, we would do this little chart, and then we would look at the current competition. We would do some market research, or you would do the market research for your business plan about the local competition once you've decided on that area based on these facts and figures. So we know our audience, we know our client, and we do management training that covers all of this as well. But our clients tend to have worked in the city, or have a career, or have had a career and then having a family, but they are normally have worked in the city or on the outskirts. The AB population is quite important to us, but not everything. Now, we tend to find that most of our clients, I think it's 94% currently, of our clients are women. Now, out of those 94%, I would say probably about 60% of them are mums. So we need to be local to private schools and schools in general. We support a lot of schools with charity and fundraising and stuff as well. We do private parties for kids and mums and women. We get a lot of brides in and a lot of bridal parties. But our age group could be anything from 25 to 80. We've had some older clients as well. We have quite a broad age group, but I would say the majority of our clients are between 30 and 55. And we get a lot of mums that come in because we are very, very mum and baby and kid friendly. So we do get a lot of mums that come in with their buggies, or they do the school run, then they come in for a treatment, or working professionals. So working professionals tend to be the evening and Saturday appointments. Sometimes in the day, a lot of people are working from home now. So we get a lot of working professionals that will come in with their laptop, or they'll come in on their lunch break or something like that. And then we get a lot of mums that come in, and they are the day-to-day appointments in the middle of the day where they can bring their baby in, or they can bring their toddler in, or whatever it may be. So that's our demographic as such. Now, population, we probably look for anything over 25,000. You want a decent sized population because we only offer nails and waxing. You don't want to be in a tiny town and only offer 2 treatments, because there'll be one salon there that provides everything. Because we only specialise in nails and waxing, we need a population of 20 to 25,000 and over. Town size, it doesn't really matter because every town is different, but these are examples of Farnham and Horsham. You can see that the population for the square kilometre is pretty much the same. Now, city commute, this is really important because we need those people that work in the city, have worked in the city and commuted out, and their partners tend to work in the city. That's the people we're looking for. And also, I would say a direct commute would always be better, but not compulsory. And the AB population. You can see here the AB population of Farnham is 40% and the AB population of Horsham is 32%. We tend to stick on 30 plus. That tends to work best for us. However, if your population is 100,000 and your AB population is 28, then we can work with that as well because you've got a higher number of people in that area. Does that make sense? So that's what we're looking for. We would do a lot of the research. Like I said, I don't want you to not be successful in this. It's really important to me that we partner, we get on, and that you're going to be successful, because I want to help you become really successful and I don't want to set you up for failure. So if you come to me and say, I want a town and the AB population's 20% and the town size is 5 kilometres, I would say no, just so that we know where we stand. This is the most common question I get. How much it's going to cost, and it's really the hardest question to answer because it depends on so many different factors. Premises cost is the most kind of deciding factor on the overall cost. Your franchise fee doesn't change. The fit out fees are pretty similar depending on what work needs to happen to the premises. But the premises cost is massive because if you choose a premises that's 30 grand a year, we would normally go for premises that are like 20 to 25,000, but it all depends on where you are. If you're looking on Greater London or Central London, it's going to be a lot more, but then your prices are going to be higher. So if you're looking at a premises, we haven't got any premises that are more than 25 grand, but also size-wise, you would be looking at something for about 600 square feet or higher. 600 to 1,200 is normally a really good size. So if you've already started your property search, that's the deciding factor. But also those properties, because we like a double bay front window, we like an older style property. Not always, it doesn't have to be. And actually some new properties would be beautiful if it's in the right location. But those premises are also the most popular. That price point is like a real lovely price point for a lot of retailers, but also estate agents. I've lost out so many properties to estate agents because they like the same size property in the same style that I do. So your premises cost is a massive deciding factor, because if you find a premises that's 30 grand and the landlord wants a 6 months deposit, that's 15 grand deposit that you need to find that we're going to have to factor in. But if your landlord agrees that you're a franchisee and it's a successful franchise, so the risk is lower, then they might agree to a 3 month deposit. So you might end up getting away with a 7.5 grand deposit, but we're not going to know this until you find a premises. Legal fees. I've had some franchisees that haven't had a franchise agreement looked over by a solicitor, and some that have but paid a fortune for a solicitor to look over it. I would strongly suggest that you have a solicitor look over your franchise agreement. However, those legal fees can change from the person you go to and who's looking at your documents. So, it's the same with your lease. You're going to need a solicitor to do your property lease. Depends on that solicitor. We've got Gigi done like a takeover lease. So her lease and legal fees were so much less because it wasn't a whole new repair and renew lease of 10 years. She had a takeover lease of 4 or 5 years, I think. So it was just quite an easy, she just took one lease and put her name on it, really. So it all depends on the property you find. There's so much based on that. But then also that fit out cost. If you find a property that needs fully gutting and installation of air conditioning and new flooring and new everything, that fit out cost could cost you 50 grand in itself. So it really depends on that. And that's where I will come in and I will help steer you in the right direction when you're looking at properties, because sometimes it's better to wait. And I know this from experience. It's better to wait for the right property in the right location than it is forcing something else that's a square peg round hole situation. And every time a franchisee has lost out on a premises that they really wanted, within 6 months, something better has come along that is easier, cheaper, easier to fit out, much more suitable. And it's happened to me as well. Now, also tradies costs. So you think of your floor fitters and your carpenters and your decorators and all of that. Depends where you're based and how much those costs are, really. And it depends on your location. So as much as I would love to say it's this figure, it's really hard to make that call. The franchise fee is $24,995 plus VAT. Most franchise fees or anything you're dealing with, and when you're dealing with your trades and your legal costs and your premises costs, it will be plus VAT. A lot of landlords don't include VAT on their rent. That's the price that is static. That's not going to change. So your actual fees, I would say normally it comes in around 50 to 55,000 plus VAT. So that's gives you a ballpark of what you're going to be looking at, your investment. But you also need enough money for cash flow for the first 3 months, which we'll do, and we'll create a whole budget together. Once you've found a premises, we will create an entire budget. One, because you'll need it if you need additional funding from the bank, but also it's a really good way to start running a business with a really clear budget, so you know exactly how much your overhead costs are and what you need to bring in every month. And also it'll help you work out what your return on investment would be as well. Now your franchise fee, like I said, is $24,995, and then the management fee is 5% of net revenue. We don't charge gross revenue because I don't believe in charging you for the money that the tax is going to take. And I also don't include retail sales in your management fee either, because margins for retail are so tight already. I don't believe in taking 5% of something that's already difficult to make. So yeah, management fee is 5% of your net revenue, and then your franchise fee is $24,995 plus VAT. So the actual process is the initial meeting and salon visit. So after we've done this, after you've listened to me go on about franchising, you go, right, that's it. This is for me. I love this. I know I can work with Amy. I'm really excited. If you feel it, you go with your gut, feel it. Then you give me a shout and we'll have an initial meeting and a salon visit. I love to do a meeting at one of my salons or franchise salons. We're all really close, and they are more than happy for me to show around potential franchisees around their salon. It's really important that you come and see a salon, feel it, have a treatment, see if it's right for you. If you like it, if you go there and it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy or taken care of, or that you want to be able to provide that service, that level of expertise and service to your own clients, you'll know. And then if it feels right, then we will start the process. The next process is like sourcing and secure territory. So we'll do our research. You tell me where you're based and what towns you're thinking of. Myself and my team will do the research for you. Once you've decided that this is it, Hitchin is your town, for example. Hitchin would make a brilliant franchise, by the way, location for a Mooeys franchise. But yeah, you would say, right, I want to pay for Hitchin, and then we would work out your territory. So your territory is basically your area, so nobody else can have a franchise within that area. So whether it's a 5 or 10 mile or kilometre radius, it depends on the town, depends on what other towns you've got around you, but you would pay for that entire territory. No one else can have that. So if you wanted, you could set up 2 within that territory. So that's when you pay your deposit. So your deposit is 10%. You would pay the deposit, and that is securing that territory. So I can't sell that territory to anybody else for 6 months. Normally, you would only get 3 months for a territory. The thing is, I've found that it can sometimes take up to 6 months to actually find a premises and find the right one. And I feel if I give you 3 months, you might make a bad decision, and not because you're rushing it. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to find the right premises. It's so important. So yeah, you get 6 months to find your premises. So that's where the property search starts. And I've been searching property for 10 years and more. So I know what to look for, I know what sites to look on. I'll start looking, I'll start sending you some, and then you start looking at them. Go around the towns, have a walk around with your family or your friends or your loved ones. Go around the towns that you're interested in and have a look what's available and what's out there, but also get a feel for that town. And you know what? My market research that I done for my salons, I used to go and sit in a coffee shop after the school run and see. I wanted to see where my clients were. Where were the working professionals? You know, when you sit in a Starbucks and you see all those people beavering away, where are the working professionals and where are the mums? And I'd go and sit and just watch the world go by, watch the school run drop off and see where they went. And so that was my research. And then once you found that property, you're like, right, this is it. This is what we're doing. We would then go through budgeting. We would then get you set up, and then we would see if you needed to secure funding as well, which I'll talk about another time. And then we go into legal agreements. Legal agreements is when I produce your franchise agreement. So you need to get a solicitor, or you should get a solicitor to look over it and give any feedback. A franchise agreement is always going to be, in the franchisor, me, it's going to be in my favour. It will always be in my favour because it's not a business buyout. You're not buying my business, you're buying a franchise. So therefore, you will have to follow my guidelines. You'll have to follow my brand styling and ethos. So it'll always be in my favour. It's not like buying a business where it's kind of has to be more equal. However, the franchise agreement is also so important for you because it protects you on so many different factors. It is a legal document and it is there for protection for both of us. Now, once you are ready to sign your franchise agreement, that's when your franchise fee is paid. So your $24,995 minus your 10%. I tend to do it at the same time as when you're signing your lease. Now, again, most franchisees would have you sign, pay a deposit, and then sign quite quickly and pay your full franchise fee. The property search, I feel like it's very time consuming. And also, I would imagine that you would want to sign your franchise agreement at the same time as your property. Because if you're signing up for a 5 or 10 year lease, you would want your franchise agreement of 5 years to be about the same time. Otherwise, you could be trading without having a franchise agreement and you'll be within lease. So I tend to try and tie it in as much as possible. But also, once your lease is once you're signing your lease or that is being agreed, then it is all systems go. That's when the real work kicks off, because going around towns and looking at properties is great fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. So once you find a property, you've had a look at it, you think it's right, I will come and meet you at the property and then we'll sign it off together and I'll have a look and try and help you figure out how it would work, how it would flow, function, all of that. It'll be me or one of my team, but we know exactly what we're looking for and what works within a salon. So yeah, we kind of tie it all in, legal agreements, and then the work starts because we have to look at recruitment, really important. I will do recruitment with you, or my team will do recruitment with you, but I'll help you set it all up so we know what we're looking for when it comes to job descriptions and things, because this is when that lease could take 2 or 3 months, but you have to kind of tie it in with it. Do you need planning permission as well? There'll be lots to do. So once you start getting that premises, the fit out needs to be booked in and organised, but then we need to create an entire timeline. It's called a Gantt chart if you haven't done it before, but you'd need a Gantt chart of when things are happening. So your fit out will happen then, recruitment will happen then, where are we going to recruit, where are we going to do trade tests, then where are we going to train? Is it training in your salon? Is the property going to be finished by then? If it's not, where can we train? There's lots to factor in. And then there'll be lots of ordering. So we'll go through the design, the decor, we'll go through all of that. And I think this is what I love most about franchising, is when people can have their own stamp on it, because I don't run my franchise like a Starbucks, for instance, or a Costa, when you basically get a catalogue of furniture and you have to choose from that. Because I really want our franchises to all have a personal touch. I want you to run your business under my brand, but you have designed it. It's got your heart and soul in it. It's not just bought from a catalogue that I've stipulated. And I love that. And I love going to the salons because they all feel like a Mooeys, but they're all slightly different. And when you go around and have a look at the salons, you'll see what I mean. They're all beautiful in their own right, but they're all just a little bit different. And, what would your difference be? What would you bring to the party? What is it that, would love to see in your salon? How would you have it designed? That's really fun. And it's a really good creative outlet. So I would do all of that with you. So I will sign it off. You tell me you want these chairs. I won't let you have chairs that aren't in line with company branding or guidelines. However, you would choose that. Wallpaper, things like that would go through, sign it all off. And then training, and then PR as well. We would want to get some press releases out there about your salon in your local area. Our marketing team will start beavering away to get you on Google, get your email sorted, get you on the website, and get some press releases out there in the beauty industry, but also locally to you in the local press. It's a lot, right? And then we will do finishing touches and launch. So finishing touches is I'll normally spend a couple of days, or me and my team will come in, spend a couple of days with you, work out what therapists have what strengths, make sure that they're up to scratch and they're doing what we need them to do. This will be when we're going shopping. It's like a bit of a mad couple of days, because it'll be like, right, you haven't got teaspoons and glasses. Someone's got to go out and buy that. We haven't got toilet equipment. We haven't got towels. We haven't got this. There'll be loads of things that we'll need to pull together for you and with you. And this is really good fun. Really stressful, hard work, long days, really good fun. And then we'll do the launch. We always launch over 2 days. We do 2 days of free treatments, and we will advertise it in local Facebook groups. We will advertise it to the local community. We will join all the local community groups and tell the world that you are opening your doors and that they need to come and have a free treatment just to sample what you're offering and have a glass of fizz and, come and see what we're all about. And the launches normally fill up because it's free treatments. I'll set you up on the system, the booking system that is. We'll get it all done, and then it will all be booked online, and you'll start seeing all the bookings coming in. So, I've gone through a lot of the support that you would get, but business plan and research is a big one, because a lot of people haven't created a business plan before, and I've done quite a few. So your business plan and research is really important if you want funding, but I still think we should do it even if you're buying this outright or you don't need support from the banks with funding. I still think it's really important to have a really tight business plan and do your market research. Same with finance and budgeting. I love figures, I love numbers, and I have a really, really good budget sheet that we work to. My salon managers work to it. We have an overview for the year, a forecast for the year, but for a franchise you would do a 3-year forecast, and it would be based on actual figures, which the banks love because we have a proven track record. And once you've signed your franchise agreement and your non-disclosure agreement, then we would openly share finance and figures with you, and we would do your budget based on other salons' actuals. Negotiating and planning. I love a bit of negotiating, to be honest. When you're finding a premises and you're negotiating the rent-free period and the lease and all of that. And then planning. Some salons need planning permission, some don't. Depends very much on your council and your local district, and we'll look into all of that with you. Recruitment and training. That's a given because we've got our own training company. But recruitment, I've got so much experience in, and so has all my team because they're all recruiting in their own salon. So we will do all of that with you. And then the first lot of interviews, me or my team will do the interviews with you so that you know what qualifications to look for, what experience you're looking for, what sort of personality, how to do a trade test. We will teach you all of that, and we will do it with you for your initial team. And then if you needed help afterwards, like in your first 3 months or whatever, we would always come and try and help you anyway. Design and decor, like I said, marketing, PR. The more you do yourself when it comes to PR, the better, as in the more verbal you are, the more connections you make locally, the more mums you speak to at the school, the more shop owners or business owners locally you speak to, the better. This has to come from you. We can only do so much. We will do a lot of marketing, but trust me, word of mouth is your biggest marketing tool. And this is what makes a business successful. You need to be out there, and you need to get your team doing free treatments in the first couple of weeks to build up your business and reputation. People need to see what you're doing. Choose those people that are in shops or doing stuff with their nails so other people can comment. And, you know, I'll go through all of that with you, but your local PR that comes from you and your team is so important. But we will support you with the bigger picture of sort of online presence. The launch, I think, to be honest with you, the launch is my team's favourite thing to do. If I ever say to anybody, and I give everybody the opportunity to be part of it, so whether they're franchise salons or whether they're my own salons, whether my head office team, I always give them an opportunity to be part of it, and they love it. They absolutely love it. It's a bit different, and they're part of something. It's always so exciting. A launch is so exciting. And then ongoing support. So we have our Mooeys conference. We're now going to be doing it twice a year. It's more like a sales strategy or a business strategy day where we kind of figure out what we've done well, what we're doing going forward, and how the business is growing. But also, I am always available. Me or my team, we're available to answer any questions you may have. And we have a WhatsApp group. I think every company has one now, don't they? But we have a WhatsApp group with all of the Mooeys managers in it. So you would be part of that. And if you have any questions, you just dip in there and ask, and somebody will answer it for you, whether it's about the system or whether it's about stock or staff or whatever. But we normally have managers or franchise owners, and the assistant managers are in that group. I've got some senior therapists in there as well. But the ongoing support, I do salon visits where we come round. Somebody will come round and have a chat with you for half a day, see how you're doing, see if you need any support, see if you need any help. It's a really supportive community, and I will always want to keep it that tight. To me, it's not about instant growth and massive growth and taking over the world, because what I get from this is the community and the support and the love we all have for each other. And I think that's really important. So I'm not here to grow rapidly, but I'm here to grow at a steady pace that we can all grow comfortably together. So, frequently asked questions. Hopefully you're still engaged and I'm answering some of your questions. How long does the process take? Average about 6 months. I've had one turnaround in 3 months and I've had one turnaround in 8 months. Average is about 6 months. So yeah, by the time you've spoken to me and we've seen a salon, or we've met at the salon, you can be opening your doors within 6 months of that meeting. It can be sooner if you move quick. It just depends on finding that premises. You could be really lucky and find a premises straight away or within the first month. Or it could be not so lucky and we're waiting and we're finding a premises and we're looking. So yeah, it could be 3 to 6 months average. Can I buy a franchise if I don't have any beauty experience? Yes, we've already talked about that. Of course you can. And actually I think it's quite good. I think if you're a salon owner already and you're converting, then it's quite an easy conversion. It's quite easy to transition. And then you go on the management training, and then you have our wax training, and then you become a part of the team, but you already know the industry anyway. So it's quite an easy transition. However, if you don't understand the beauty industry, it doesn't really matter. You'll learn very, very quickly. You will pick it up. You don't need to know how to do nails to know how to run a business. Like I've told you, as long as you care and you can manage people and that you give a damn, you'll be fine. Is there a discount if I buy more than one franchise? There is. You save £5,000. £5,000, because a lot of the work, so that franchise fee pays for the license of having Mooeys, but also for my time and my team's time. And it takes a lot. It's a lot of work to open a salon. And so once you've done one, you don't need me to help you find a premises. You don't need me to help you recruit. You don't need me to necessarily do your negotiations with you, that sort of thing, because my time isn't needed as much because you've already had one, you've been there and done it. Obviously successful if you're looking for a second one, then you save £5,000 on further franchises. So yeah, you can have as many as you like. The franchise is for 5 years. Now, a lot of franchisors, me, franchisee, you, a lot of franchisors will charge you the franchise fee again, or like a discounted franchise fee to renew. We don't. purely because I want you to make money. I want us all to make money. And I also, I think there's an element of, by the time you've got to 5 years, you're starting to make some profit, and probably really good profit as well. I don't want to dent that for you. I want you to keep going. So you would just have to pay legal fees. So if you want to renew another 5 years, we just charge legal fees, because I think that's more than fair. And also your leases for properties normally about 10 years. So it would be nice, wouldn't it? Nice and easy. You're happy with me, I'm happy with you. Let's just have a rolling sign up for another 5 years and let's make more, It'd be great, wouldn't it? What about ongoing training? Franchisees get our training for 50% discount, which is basically our cost price, because I use a lot of external trainers that charge me 50%. So yeah, you can have ongoing training. So if you want one of the trainers to come into your salon and train, let's say you've taken on 2 new staff members and you want them to all have proper intimate wax training with the pregnancy wax in, all of that, then all of the theory you can access online for free. So you get a new starter and we will set you up. They would have access to free training anyway. And we have like an induction training on there, which is free anyway for all of our salon owners. And yeah, if you wanted hands-on practical training, or you wanted one of our managers to come and do, well, not necessarily manager, but if you wanted one of our nail techs, like one of our super duper nail techs from the salons to come and spend a day with your team, then you can do that. We also have a few people within our business that train privately, so you would then just pay them directly for training, like e-file. I've got a lady in my Horsham salon that does e-file training for the guild, the beauty guild, so she does all of our e-file training for all of the salons, so we're all kind of doing the same. Now, how much does salons turn over? Oh, big question. This could be anything. Obviously the first 3 years you're in complete growth stage. Now we are seeing one of our salons that's been open 2 years starting to tap into the same revenue that I'm making in Horsham. Farnham and Horsham will make anywhere between, or turnover, £25,000 to £35,000 a month. There's some months that are really high revenue months for us, August and December, super high revenue, and there's some that tick over. February, November and October are our quietest months, so they would be like your £25,000 to £26,000 a month type months. But in December and August we would be looking at £35,000-36,000 for a month. Now we have got, that's Farnham really, and Horsham. Farnham sometimes takes more, but Horsham does laser, so it's high revenue, as in like because the laser courses are £1,200 or £1,000. When they do have a course sale, then it bumps up the revenue quite significantly. But one of our franchise salons has been there 2 years, is already taking the same revenue as Horsham, that's been open for 7 years. So it's very much dependent on you. The first 2 years we'll budget for that growth. The first 3 years we'll budget for, you'll see like a steady increase. But Farnham, we can't really do much more with the revenue because we can't grow anymore, and if we can't have any more people in the salon because it's such a small space. But Farnham regularly takes 30 to 35 grand every month. Sometimes we've seen 38 grand months. But I would say you should be expecting a really healthy month as a franchise in your first 2 years would be £17,000 to £19,000 a month. Yes, you should be VAT registered. You'll need to be VAT registered in the first year anyway, and it's always really good because everything that you pay for when you first set out will be inclusive of VAT. So your first year, if you need to get VAT loans, you can. A lot of lenders will do VAT loans for new startups because the turnover you make, you've got to remember 20% of all your service revenue and retail revenue will be taxed, will be VATable. So a lot of the VAT you've spent in the initial setup will be offset against your revenue. So you might end up getting a VAT payment back, or at least breaking even in your VAT, which is why you get VAT loans. I hope that makes sense. Yes, you should get a franchise solicitor just for your own peace of mind. Again, I've had some franchisees that have read it themselves and not bothered. And a franchise solicitor would read it and they're acting on your behalf. So they would, although they understand that it's a franchise agreement, and make sure you work with a franchise solicitor, because a business solicitor is very different to a franchise solicitor. Franchise solicitors will know what a franchise agreement looks like and what's expected. So we have some people that other franchises have worked with. I can give you some details of people if you need them. How much time will I need to spend in the business? This is a bit of a loaded question. I don't know really. So you can have this and pay for a salon manager to run it for you if you wanted. That would be like an investor franchise. So you would have it and then let someone else run it for you. So similar to what I have in my own salons. I probably wouldn't start off like this. I would be in the salon and set the standards and set the expectations and lead by example personally. But it's not necessary if you find the right manager that has all of the expertise that you haven't got, like beauty, for instance. And you can work from those salons or you can not be there. It really is entirely up to you. But when you first launch and when you do that fit out, you will be there a lot. You will be there for at least 2 weeks before you open your doors. And then it will be very quiet client-wise, so you can take a step back or you can just be there ad hoc, depending on your team. It all depends, because obviously if you're having a salon manager running the business for you, it's going to cost you a lot more in salaries, which means it's going to take you longer to get your return on investment. So it all depends on why you're having a franchise, what you're looking for, and if you could be there half the time but have an assistant manager that would be there full time running the salon as you want, but still having a manager presence when you're not there, that tends to work really well. Return on investment is normally 2.5 to 3 years, sometimes sooner. But it all depends on how much you spend. You know, if you are a spender and that you buy ridiculous amounts of stock and you buy, a company car and you get all of this stuff, then your return on investment is going to be longer. If you are a lean manager, as in like you keep your cost minimum but delivering everything you need to deliver service-wise and treatments-wise, and you don't overspend on anything and you just focus on your revenue and managing your payroll and costs, you could get a return on investment within 2 years. And it also depends on how much you've spent initially. However, we will go through all of that when we do your budget, and the budget sheet will show you when your return on investment is. I hope you're still awake. Are you ready to take the plunge? So the next step, drop me a call or email. Let's have a chat about the area you're interested in. Let me do some research on it. Let me figure out whether it's the right location, and then let's arrange to meet. But you could just go in and have a chat with one of the salon owners or the salon managers. If you wanted to talk to any of the franchisees, I know that they would be more than happy to talk to you. So yeah, next step, give us a shout, email, or give me a call. I love a chat, as you've probably gathered. And then we'll find out next steps, where you're going to be and if it's going to work. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. And I will see you soon, hopefully.